think people need to be careful when they're choosing someone to live with.
Come on in.
She decided to find a roommate.
It's perfect.
She seemed like a safe person to move in with.
I had no idea how bad it could get.
Get out here!
Film me like you filmed me naked in the bathroom.
What? Things got crazy.
You're supposed to feel safe.
Oh, let me in!
It's just horrific, the path that went down so quickly.
You stupid.
It's easy to say, don't live with strangers.
Crazy!
Not everybody has that luxury.
You never truly know what someone's like till you live with them. Anita was a very independent woman. She owned her own home and had a son that lived in San Diego.
You went there without me?
Yes, we have to go out there next time you're in town. The food is fantastic. So are the drinks. Gotta run.
Hey, bye, Mom.
Bye.
She was always outgoing. She was very decorative, very artsy, and very unique.
After raising 2 children on her own, Anita Cowan begins a new life in Palm Springs.
She bought her first house. For her, it was a huge accomplishment because we rented all of our life.
Excuse me.
She enjoyed people.
Here, try this one instead. It's just as good, but it's on sale today. Thank you.
My mother liked helping people.
Anita works part-time at the local pharmacy, but sometimes it's tough to make ends meet.
She just had to make the mortgage. She's got a 3-bedroom house. So she decided to find a roommate, having someone rent a room, pay some of the bills, and essentially be like a buddy to her was a great idea, she thought.
I was looking for a room to rent on Craigslist. I had just recently gotten a divorce, and I was living very far from my work, and it was expensive on gas, so I decided to move closer.
Daryl.
Hey.
Come on in.
Thanks. Wow, great place.
Thank you. Shoes off, please.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Common areas are shared. Dining room, kitchen, living room.
I was put at ease by her demeanor. She had some odd things about her, but she seemed harmless overall.
I would totally feel at home here.
You can use the pool as well.
Oh.
They would have free access, use the pool, use the TV, use anything you want.
This would be your room. It's completely private.
It's perfect.
So I kind of jumped at the chance.
Daryl moves in the next day.
The sense of a background check was something she just wouldn't do.
Oh, shoes off, please.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm sorry.
You're home now.
When Daryl moved in with Anita, they got along very well. He was a good tenant.
I actually helped her out with odd jobs and stuff, like changing doorknobs and electrical outlets and being handy around the house. I didn't have a lock on my door, and I didn't really want one. She seemed like a safe person to move into a house with.
The arrangement may not be as perfect as it seems.
Hey, you want a beer?
I'm having wine, thanks.
He was, in my mom's view, a little different. Sometimes shaved his head, had weird types of jobs, hung out at casinos. But just, if you could pay the rent, that would be great.
Daryl is making payments, but not always on time.
Daryl, it's the first of the month.
Oh, yeah.
A couple months after I moved in to Anita's house, I was having some money troubles, going through a divorce. My money and my credit was kind of wonky.
I'd be caught up in a couple of weeks.
It's just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
She was letting me slide here and there on the rent and was very nice about it.
She needed the money. She had her own bills, her own mortgage. And when she couldn't pay these bills, she needed a source of money.
I'm worried about making my mortgage payments. Maybe I should rent out the other spare room.
Hey, have you met Scott?
Scott and Anita met at the drugstore. They were co-workers.
I love Palm Springs.
I agree.
Scott was incredibly charming. He just seemed like someone who could be your best friend.
I just finished law school and I'm trying to get settled.
Good for you.
He actually got his Juris Doctorate. He was in the process of studying for the California bar exam.
Listen, I am in desperate need of a place to live. I do not like where I am now.
Well, that settles it then. You can move in right away.
Thank you.
I believe Anita felt comfortable with Scott moving in.
So this is Rudy and this is Mikey.
I love dogs.
We have a beautiful house.
Let me give you a tour.
Let me just take off my shoes. Down, come here.
Here and there, Scott.
Daryl, this is Scott Pettigrew. He's going to be our new roommate.
Really?
Hi. You like dogs too?
I'm more of a cat person myself.
Well, you can't win them all.
Here, I'll show you to your room.
Weird things started happening right away when he moved in, within the first 2 days. Anita started being very condescending towards me.
Hey, what's so funny?
And there would be an uncomfortable silence.
You wouldn't get it.
I didn't have an education. I wasn't educated abroad like she was.
It's okay. We'll keep it down.
More wine? He's kind of an oddball, isn't he?
You really think so?
I can't put my finger on it, but something's not right.
Scott instantly took a dislike to Daryl. They did not get along.
What's up?
Just Rudy.
Anything interesting?
You wouldn't understand any of this.
I was just...
Just let me focus, okay?
He just gave me a dirty look, and I thought that was odd.
Scott was calling my mother at work repeatedly
Scott, I'm working now.
with complaints about what Daryl is doing.
He's watching me.
What?
Daryl, he's watching me. I think he's obsessed with me.
What do you mean?
Shh.
Scott isn't the only one feeling uneasy.
I know that something's not right. Someone was coming into my room, just stealing random objects, moving random objects, doing God knows what. I caught him peeking in my door.
What's your problem?
And he cursed at me from the other side of the door. He said, and I said, "This is my room, stay out of my room."
Leave me alone!
Daryl's demand for privacy makes Scott suspicious.
Listen, Daryl is holed up in his room right now acting weird, okay? I think he's high on something.
Scott was telling my mom about Daryl being odd or doing strange things.
What?
So I think at that point she was concerned about Daryl.
You know, what do you do?
Anita and Scott, they were ruining my life. Oh, I lost it.
I didn't expect it, and I didn't see it coming.
Things started turning south between Anita and Daryl the moment that Scott moved in.
When I first moved to Anita's, I didn't have a lock on my door, but then I got real bad there.
What are you doing?
Hey, open up! Nobody told you you could put a lock on the door.
Now all of a sudden he's doing all this weird stuff, and it doesn't make any sense.
What's he doing in there?
Shady behavior started to appear.
I hate to think. I'll bet you anything he's on drugs.
Scott had told my mom that Daryl had been doing drugs in the house. She didn't like it.
This is my house!
Leave me alone!
Things just went downhill from there.
There were things in the house just disappearing over time, like she was missing these salt and pepper shakers, her steak knives.
The knives were right here yesterday.
Daryl has some pretty loose fingers. And I don't know how he broke that.
Scott told Anita that Daryl was stealing items, destroying items in the home.
No matter how much this angers Anita, she relies on Daryl for rent.
She, of course, is financially stretched.
Here.
He paid rent late a few times, but he always paid.
What'd you do with the steak knives?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Mom, you don't sound like yourself.
I am absolutely fine. Everything's fine.
What about those roommates?
Oh, yeah. Getting along good. Don't you worry about me.
She would actually downplay all that, and she doesn't want to admit to me that I think I made a mistake.
Are you sure? Like, you can tell me.
Yeah, gotta go. Okay, bye.
She really wasn't happy anymore. It was tough for her. It was definitely my mom and Scott against Daryl.
Anita, come on. You better come here. It's a camera. That dirty pervert has been watching us, filming us.
What?
Scott told her There's a bunch of these pinhole cameras that Daryl has been installing in the bathroom.
Get out here! Get out here right now!
What the hell are you doing?
You sick, dirty pig.
She's at my door screaming at me, and Scott was standing right over her shoulder the entire time, agreeing with her.
You are a sick man, placing a hidden camera in the bathroom.
Camera? What are you talking about?
Oh, you know exactly what's in there.
Sure, here you go. Here's a camera.
Oh.
Things got crazy.
Here's your video.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Yeah, you're going down. You know what?
You need to listen, and I'm done playing. I've been Mr. Nice Guy. Film me all like you filmed me naked in the bathroom.
What?
Yes, you did. I got the equipment.
That's right.
Hey, none of this happened until he showed up.
And what's that supposed to do?
You know what it means.
She felt almost like betrayed. Like, how could Daryl do this to me?
We have got to get rid of him.
And when that decision got made in her mind, her point was that, how do we get him out?
How can I do that?
He was paying rent, and so Scott, being a legal mind, would figure out a way to evict him or get him out of the way.
I have an idea.
When I came home, it was obvious to me that they were trying to send a message that they didn't want me there.
Hey, let me in.
Scott?
Don't worry. Hey, I can hear you. Hey, let me in.
Scott?
Don't worry, I got this.
Hey, let me in.
Get out of here, Daryl! You don't belong here!
She said that I didn't live here anymore, to just lock the door and tell someone that they don't live there anymore. You can't just do that.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
If Scott and Anita think changing the locks will get rid of Daryl,
Let me in!
they're wrong.
The whole thing kind of happened real quick.
According to them, it only makes things worse.
Hey! Let me in!
There's just some sick maniacal that's happening.
Anita said that she was being threatened.
No, you can't do this to me!
She was in fear for her safety.
Get it off of her!
Come on, Anita, let's go. Stay away from her!
It's easy to say be safe and don't live with strangers, but not everybody has that luxury. Not everybody can afford to do that.
No, I didn't do anything. Hey!
So when the police arrived, they immediately put me in cuffs.
No, I didn't do anything. I live here.
I didn't understand why I was being arrested or being put in the back of a car.
Chased after us like a madman! And he knocked her over. Who would do that?
My mom said that Daryl had assaulted her in some way.
I want him out of here.
They took me to jail. I was charged with 3 felony charges.
Daryl is charged with uttering death threats, vandalism, and elder abuse, which they take very seriously in Palm Springs.
They treated me like a common criminal because of my charges, because of how bad they are. I waited trial for 100 days.
When Daryl was in jail, things were better in the home. Things seemed to be going okay between Scott and Anita.
They were good.
But the good times don't last long.
Anita was expecting that Scott was going to testify. Anita thought he was going to back her up on these allegations.
Scott never showed up to the court.
Without her roommate present to back her up, the case falls apart.
What had actually happened is she got into court and then she told them, I don't remember. I forget.
They were false claims.
You're going down, buddy.
Scott and Anita wanted Daryl out of the house, so they made up the whole incident.
Come on, Anita.
Scott convinced Anita to file a police report
I have an idea.
saying she was physically assaulted and elder abuse was going on between Daryl and Anita.
He knocked her over.
They were trying to get rid of me. It was just lie after lie after lie.
Who would do that?
That story is complete, completely fake.
I did not do it.
The case is thrown out of court, and Daryl walks free with nowhere to go.
Obviously, this guy's life was turned upside down for no good reason.
I have no job, no place to go. While I was in jail, I was plotting some sort of revenge against Anita. I felt like the entire world was caving in on me. Reality was imploding upon myself. I felt like I was losing my mind.
Daryl was extremely upset.
I think that she never thought out the long-term ramifications.
Now Anita's short on money, again. And Scott's no-show in court creates hostility in the house.
They started to have friction between the two of them.
Where are the candlesticks? Gone. Scott? Scott?
What do you want?
The silverware's missing. The candlesticks, it's all gone.
Daryl took it.
Those were here yesterday.
I think at that point, Anita knew her relationship with Scott was over.
Move if you know what's good for you.
Anita started to see Scott's true colors.
Scott?
What do you want, Anita?
The rent is due.
They still hadn't paid her any rent. Scott never paid rent.
I don't know you rent.
What?
I gave you free legal advice. I helped you get rid of Daryl.
Listen, if you don't pay, I will...
What? What, evict me?
Yeah.
You think anyone will believe you after what you did to Daryl? You lied. It's a felony.
She knew she was going up against someone that had been to law school, who knew the laws and could use it against her. So she was very intimidated.
Get out of my way.
She was betrayed by Scott.
Now she was in a mess of trouble.
It was scary.
From the beginning, he manipulated her into thinking that I was something bad, someone to get out of the way. He was doing these things and telling her that I was doing it.
Scott was actually stealing from Anita, not Daryl. He also lied about finding cameras in the bathroom.
Film me like you filmed me naked in the bathroom.
What? It was a 99-cent store flashlight. She honestly believed that this was some sort of high-tech camera.
Don't you little pervert!
Scott befriended her and saw her as something easy to manipulate, to take advantage of.
Sure, that's right.
It is gut-wrenching to be so terrified. Living with someone that you don't know in the place that you're supposed to feel safe.
Anita lives in constant fear. The fact that she can't evict Scott frightens her even more.
Anita wanted Scott out, but because she had falsified this case against Daryl, I think she was very hesitant to call the police for their assistance.
It was almost like, he was happy he's got the house to himself, and my mother's running around trying to pay the bills while Scott's just living there.
Her once beautiful home is unrecognizable.
Started to turn towards vandalism.
Scott had 2 dogs. They pooped and peed and made messes. They were essentially destroying Anita's home.
What Anita doesn't realize is that Scott has done this before.
Scott first found my apartment through a Craigslist ad. We had a fun couple of weeks, but very quickly after Scott moved in, that's when things turned really bad. He began to get very aggressive.
Scott had a pattern of treating vulnerable women with his threats of violence. He was just a very, very troubled person.
And when you're faced with somebody like that, you just have this sickening feeling that you don't know what they're capable of.
Scott stops showing up for work.
Hey! We need some milk. And would it hurt you to get some beer?
Sure.
Scott's basically running the house. My mother has to go to work, so she's gone all the time.
Anita's financial situation plummets.
She was afraid of losing her house.
So things just progressively went downhill.
Rudy! Mikey!
One day, Anita left for work.
Rudy! Mikey!
And she accidentally left the back door open, and Scott's 2 dogs got out.
Rancid. Guys!
A neighbor says, "I found these 2 dogs. Do they belong to you?"
Good boys. Oh, I'm gonna...
At which time he tells her, "I'm gonna kill that bitch." Scott called her at work.
Scott.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Scott's anger was irrational.
You're trying to kill my dogs? I only paid for this, you useless piece of garbage!
Are you okay?
Yeah.
She was worried. She just got a squatter living in her house and can't get rid of him. She was a basket case at this point. Feeling pretty much trapped and can't get him out.
She put a deadbolt on her bedroom door. She was starting to feel very unsafe in her own home.
After weeks of abuse, Anita finally files for Scott's eviction. But inadequate paperwork derails her plans.
Anita did not relay her danger in this situation adequately. The judge only granted a 5-yard stay-away order, allowing him to stay in the home.
She was kind of astonished. We were figuring, how do you stay 5 yards away in the same house?
In my entire career, I'd never heard of something so absurd.
Anita does pull off one small victory.
So the judge somehow decided that the dogs were in violation of no lease and evicted the dogs. And that became problematic.
The day the animal eviction order is served, Anita makes herself scarce.
She knew Scott was going to be furious. She didn't want to be there. She stayed away all day and returned later on that evening, hoping that things had calmed down by that point.
You think you can take my dogs away from me?
It's like a trap he laid for her.
For everything that I've done for you, you ignorant lump!
Desperate for a solution, Anita turns to her son.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm in trouble.
She's whispering to me like she doesn't want him to know that she's there.
I'm so afraid.
Mom, why didn't you tell me things were getting so bad?
Please, just help me.
Okay, look. Listen to me very carefully.
We came up with a plan.
Okay, I can do that.
She was just tired of slowly, bit by bit, losing her home.
Okay. Get away from me!
Mom!
I hear glass in the background smashing, and then I hear someone screaming.
Everything
So it's just an attack. It's straight on just an attack.
Mom, call the cops!
Anita didn't know what battlefield she would be going into.
Mom!
Talk to my mother, and all of a sudden I can't get through to her.
911, how can I assist you?
There's someone who needs to go check on my mom.
Stephen races to his mother's home, but he lives over an hour away. The police arrive within minutes.
That night, we received a check the welfare.
Police, open up! Let's check the back door.
As they're looking in the backyard with their flashlights, they're looking all around. And they see the body. She was floating face down in the pool. Inside the back of the house, the slider is open. In the family room, things are broken and in disarray. Broken glass, broken picture frames,
There are clear signs of a violent struggle throughout the house. Police find Scott on the bed, bloody, bruised, and terrified.
He had scratch marks down his neck, across his chest, and down his back.
Where's Anita? What happened to her? Where is she?
He said that Daryl wanted to kill both of them.
I want him out of here.
Daryl appears to have a motive, but that's not the case.
I thought about it. But when I got out of jail, revenge was very much the furthest thing from my mind, and I was just trying to survive. Honest to God.
And Daryl has an airtight alibi during the time of the murder.
I was not feeling too well. And I spent Tuesday night in a hospital.
Detectives quickly ruled Daryl out.
Where's Anita? Where is she?
And focus on Scott.
Let me see your hands. Both hands up.
I didn't do anything. It was him.
Stand up and come over here.
They order him out of his bedroom at gunpoint.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back, Scott.
And they handcuff him.
Over here.
While police take Scott in for questioning, detectives comb through the crime scene. They find a stunning piece of evidence.
We discovered the digital recorder. There was a small smudge of blood on the recorder.
Anita recorded her own murder.
Steve?
Okay, you remember the recorder. Go get it.
Okay.
In order to have Scott evicted, Anita needed to prove that he was abusive.
So I said, get a tape recorder.
Press record.
Okay.
Capture him threatening you. It's the only way out of this.
Okay, I can do that.
Put it in your pocket.
They play this tape, which I hear is the end of our phone call, and then Scott attacking her.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Stay away from me. Stay the away from me. You bastard!
You can hear Scott in the background screaming and yelling at her.
You idiot!
And then she starts screaming. It's gut-wrenching. You're hearing him murder this woman. And then the recording stops.
But the attack continues.
My mother, was a 64-year-old woman. She wasn't anybody that could put up a fight.
Get back here!
He just starts wailing on her. She was beaten, an attack, and ambushed.
After dumping Anita's body in the pool, Scott heads back inside and hides in his room.
When we turn down her street, it's all, police lights, and the house is taped off.
Where is she? No, sir, where's my boss? Sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. Where is she? I'm sorry.
And I didn't expect that they were going to tell me my mother was dead. The cops tell me, we're sorry for your loss, so.
Police charge Scott Pettigrew with first-degree murder, elder abuse, and violating a protective order.
When I saw that Scott was accused of murdering his roommate, I felt sick to my stomach. I just remember feeling like it could have been me. It could have happened to me.
Scott is found guilty on all charges and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
It wasn't the amount of sentence I expected. I see that on his prison paperwork it says in 2036 he can apply for parole. So, I mean, I think he's just such a good manipulator that he can get himself out of anything with his mouth.
Police allow Daryl to return to the house to retrieve his belongings. What he discovers inside is appalling.
Over here we have the murderer Scott Pettigrew's room as it was when the police arrested him. Look at this mess. It was a disaster. Absolutely disgusting, with all kinds of garbage strewn about. The Anita that I knew would not stand for her home to look this way.
People need to be careful when they're choosing someone to live with.
It can be very dangerous. You're basically just taking people at their word. You never truly know what they're like until you live with them.
I know where he's at and I know where I'm at. I'm free, I'm alive, and she's dead and he's in prison. I've been through hell and worse, and I honestly don't know how I made it through, but I did.
Scott laid out to get her. She was afraid of losing her house, and I mean, whatever happens to Scott afterwards, it doesn't do anything to bring her back.